Good morning, Mountain Sky families, students, and teachers. We greatly appreciate you coming here today for our 8th grade promotion for Team 8A. As we go through today's events, I want you to please remember that this is the first time we've done this, but we're all very excited to have an opportunity to welcome and thank your students and you for the 2 years of work that they've had here. First thing we'd like to have is our pledge, so if everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'd also like to thank those in our community who have and continue to serve our armed forces. So thank you, veterans, for your dedication. Also today, a day like today is that of educators. These are students who are promoting, so we'd also like to thank all of our families out there who are educators. Whether you serve in a school system or you just work with students anywhere, you're all educators. And of course, our parents. Thank you, parents, for trusting us and allowing us to work with your students. You, too, are educators and our greatest advocates and helpers. So thank you so much for everything you have done. And of course, our final thanks is to our students who have persevered through these 2 years and done so much. So we thank them. I also thank our planning committee. This is a lot of work from our people, our staff who've put together some events to just learning how to do any of this, our technology. We thank them, our planning committee, to putting this together. You will see the speech before me was our governing board member, our president, Bill Adams. We thank him. And at the end, at the very conclusion, will be Dr. Stanton, our superintendent. The event that we have here today is our event to thank our 8th graders for their 2 years of work. It's an event, it's a step. It's a recognition that they are on the right track. It's not necessarily the biggest one, nor should it be. There are many more to come, but at this point, it's a congratulations for them of having reached this milestone thus far, especially in a year like this. I would like to recognize a few students who have some outstanding awards. In a year like this, attendance was a great challenge. We had 2 students who stood forward with amazing attendance despite the shifts to online to in-person and the technology difficulties. We had 2 students with outstanding attendance, Amy McLaughlin and Adrian Tapia Pilado. So we greatly appreciate both of them and recognize them. They will have a special certificate in their folders. At this time, anything I could say is certainly paled by the fact of your students and their work and the teachers that they've done. So at this time, I'd like to welcome the team leader of Team 8A, Miss Elizabeth Coleman.
Good morning, Mountain Sky family. As the team leader, it's my task to introduce your students' teachers. It's my first year leading a team here at Mountain Sky, but I feel lucky to lead this particular group of educators. While I could introduce them and tell you what I think of them, what is important is how your child perceives them. I had your students write how they feel about their favorite teachers this year. From the many, I had to choose only one for each teacher. So let's hear from some of your students. Speaking about their math teacher, Emily Barnes, is Alexa Now.
My favorite teacher is Miss Barnes. She's my favorite teacher because she always knows how to make me smile, and she always tells us how to have a good rest of our day after her class is over. One of my favorite things about her is she always encourages us to celebrate ourselves and our accomplishments throughout the week. My Miss Barnes is also just a really nice person, always helps me when I don't understand something, or if I'm having trouble with solving a problem. Something else I really like about her, she always lets us joke around in class and get a little off topic when we're getting bored. What we're learning or the moment. Overall, Miss Barnes is just a great teacher, and I'm happy I had her as my math teacher this year. Thank you.
Speaking about me, this STEAM teacher is Baylin Neal.
Miss Coleman is by far my favorite teacher. She's the best teacher I've ever had. She's not only an amazing teacher, but she's also an amazing human. I admire her ability to be patient with students. I admire her ability to teach yet still have fun. I admire the amount of care she has for every one of her students. She will go above and beyond just to make sure we have fun. Her main focus is to teach us and have fun while doing it, and to make sure her students are mentally okay. She always teaches us to learn, and she sees potential in a student and will never give up on him or her. But most importantly, she cares more about you and your health than some people even care about themselves. If you need a mental break, she will give you one. If you need space from someone or something, guess what? You got it. If you need an easier assignment for the week, someone because you're overwhelmed, then she's got you. I've never met a person or teacher in my life that has impacted me so much. I will always remember Miss Coleman for the rest of my life. If there was a person I'd want to grow up to be, it would be her.
Thank you. The next student is David Bechdel, and he's going to be reading on behalf of Alan Zarate Salazar, who couldn't be here today.
I think Mr. Formichel is another one of my favorite teachers because he's a very funny teacher and a very formal teacher to have for science. He has taught me a lot of new things like physics, global warming, and different types of chemicals on the periodic table. He is also very funny, and when he makes jokes in his class, he is very funny to be in, especially because he lets us do activities almost every week. And they have always turned out to be very fun and very informal and different way of teaching a classroom to entertain kids and teach them. Overall, I really enjoyed being Mr. Formichel's student for many reasons, and I hope 7th graders have as much fun as I did with one of the best science teachers I ever had.
Next is for Maggie Castrati, our ELA teacher, is Lauren Violette.
Thankfully this year, I have gotten a wonderful group of teachers, so it was hard to decide which teacher was the best. It was more of which teacher stood out to me the most. That teacher is Miss Castrati. She's the most understanding, patient teacher. Miss Castrati connects and communicates well with all of her students and understands our needs. Miss Castrati makes the learning environment feel welcoming, safe, inspiring, and encouraging. I look forward to her class every day. I feel very fortunate to have been placed not only in her English language arts class, but also in her homeroom.
To speak for Crystal Melton, who teaches social studies, is Drake Neiman.
My favorite teacher this year was Miss Melton. Miss Melton was my favorite teacher because she was always really nice and always made social studies fun in some way. Instead of just handing us a packet and telling us to get on the computer, she helped us create cool little projects in class and showed us websites to make learning a little more interesting. She would always allow people to work together instead of independent work. She would also give the class prizes when they were earned and also cared about the safety of students and how they were doing. For example, when my friend was not able to eat lunch, she was feeling lightheaded and Miss Melton gave her a bag of chips. Overall, her class was pretty great.
And finally, Jeremiah Escobar would like to tell you about Bree Spink's special education.
Mrs. Spinks is one of the nicest and coolest teachers I've ever met before. She's very kind and respectful to us. She always treats us the way we want to be treated, and I really like that. Class is very fun and I enjoy it. One thing that's very cool about her is that she likes Rubik's Cubes, even though it seems very confusing. She helped me and my friends grow and improve to be smarter and get ready for high school. I hope I can see her in the future because when I go to high school, I'm going to miss her. She's truly a very kind person, and I hope she stays that way. Thank you, Ms. Spinks, for everything.
I'm not the only one who thinks teachers are amazing, and I'm so glad that I've had the chance to work with them. In this year, though, these teachers and my teammates weren't your students' only teachers. Family members helped with online learning, and schedule changes meant your students had many other people step into the teaching role this year. I would like to speak about one final teacher, one that we all shared. 2020 taught us all many things, though sometimes it wasn't a very good teacher. 2020 is not exactly an expert at the concept of productive struggle. As some of you know, I'm one of the cross-country coaches here, and every year I run a half marathon, 13.1 miles. But of course, this year they were all canceled, but we decided we didn't want to cancel our tradition, and so we decided to run from Phoenix to Tempe. So we planned out our route, and we went, and as I rounded that corner to get to Tempe Town Lake, I was like, I'm here. I've made it, I finished, and I looked at my watch, and I was only at 12 miles. And so I had another mile to go and mile point one to go. And I just, in my head, I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep going. And there was nobody around to cheer me on. And so my sweet wife looks at strangers who are picnicking in the area, and she's like, if you could just do us a favor and just cheer us on, because we're almost there. We really need some help. And because I was in tears. I was so close to just breaking down and giving up. And these perfect strangers were so sweet. They got up, they cheered with us, they went with us for a little while, and they really helped me get through that race. And this race felt a lot like this school year. It felt like there was no finish line, that it was imaginary, that we'd never get to it. It felt like we had no one to ease the struggle at times, being alone at home. And being back in person this quarter has reminded me how much easier it is for all of us to do hard things when we have one another to cheer us on, to have a crowd of people stand on our sidelines, even if they're perfect strangers, to remind us how far we've come and how close we are to being done. To the promoting class of 2021, I hope that you will remember how hard this year was to do alone, how much easier it was to have each other. Cheer each other on in high school and help each other get past that finish line. And don't be afraid to ask a stranger for a little cheer if you need one. Okay. With that, I'm going to pass the mic to Ms. Barnes, and she's going to read off the names for her students.
I'm Miss Barnes, and I will be recognizing my advisory class for promotion. Charlene Aldrete. Cameron Anderson Romero. Donovan Antonetti. David Bechdel. Luis Bolanos. Emiliano Castaneda Sellers. Dayla Childers. Cole Gutierrez. Alexa Nell. Jackson Kurzak. Keegan Lang. Ethan Ledoun. Ezekiel Livingstone. Sebastian Mata. Jalen Meza. Queen Niavarere. Roman Asageda Chavez. Wait. Francisco Portillo Contreras. Danessa Reeves. Ethan Schlesinger.
I would like to, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Recognize my advisory, Ms. Coleman's advisory. Cesar Antonio. Victoria Belashapka. Antonio Flowers. Adam Gauthier. Kaylee Gotchling, Shelby Hennessy, Garrett Martin, Amy McLaughlin, Zaire Nettles, Drake Neiman, Anthony Novak, William Pacheco Hernandez, Christian Tandock, Vier Taylor, Leslie Valencia Hernandez, Gabriel Vasquez, Lucas Villegas, and Francis Webb.
I would like to recognize Mr. Formicella's advisory class. Isaiah Arias, Angel Bronco Escalona, Keon Centron Nunez, Jeremiah Escobar, Aiden Heinz, Caleb Kerr, Braden Knutson, Xavier Mendoza, Kimberly Nong, Balin Neal, Ashley Olmos Ibarra, Elizabeth Rios, Benjamin Sachaka, Adrian Tapia Piado, Myra Valdez, Emily Vasquez, Logan Weeding, Rihanna Zolodek Shishelsky.
I present Ms. Castrati's advisory.
Nevea Alvarez. Brianna Carranza. Daniel Demland. James Duvall. Furio Flores Giardo, sorry. Noe Giarzo. Joseph Garcia Vargas. Julian Gonzalez. Kira Goshling. Joey Kierley. Marissa Munye. Aiden Montez Figueroa. Kyle Montiel. Anthony Muzzy. Faith Olea. Avery Paul. Adam Rivera.
Sorry, my smile's not very good. My teeth got destroyed.
Lauren Violet. Alan Zarate Salazar.
I would like to present Ms. Melton's advisory class.
Delina Andujar. Orel Baruch. Giovanni Diaz Paramo. Natalie Evans. Paige Ferris. Victoria Hernandez. Jackson Jenna. Haley Jones. Loudon Milne. Jake Montiel. Christiana Nez. Liliana Rakich. Wyatt Reynolds. Caesar Schultz. Wicker Severance. Mackenzie Waller. Michael Young Cheney.
Isn't that amazing? All those students who've worked together, and that's really the word here, together. I'm about to repeat the words that we've all said probably countless times. More than we even imagined. What a year. We have probably all said that about other years, but this year seems significantly different. This truly has inspired us in many different ways. In the coming years, I believe our memories, as we have historically, will start to fade, and we will remember these events differently. But I hope one thing that we will all remember as human beings is that we have all lived through this together. We've had to work together. You've seen that, you've heard that in their speeches, that people worked and pulled together through this. As students and staff and parents, we're all living through it in our own ways, in different challenges. But nonetheless, we are living through it together. Times like these can divide people, wound trust, and erode faith in human perseverance. But they can also inspire us to learn new things, which we've had to. They can also inspire us to learn about other people and see them in new ways, which we can continue to do so, and we have. And it can build trust in humanity's resilience in ways that we have never seen before, which we must continue to do. You've just looked into the eyes of our students, our future. And I can't help but wonder, and I hope you wonder with the same kind of optimism that I do, that they are going to take these circumstances, what we have lived through this year, and do something unique, something different, some way to make the world better. Question is, how will they do that? What can we, as the adults in their lives, do to help them? How can we help them build that world together? That's part of the story yet to be told. But at this point, this is the bittersweet of our promotion. So we have to say goodbye to our 8th grade students as they leave what we refer to lovingly as the nest. 8th graders, I hope these last few days as you walked around the halls, you looked at the gym, the hallways, your classrooms, and you hopefully thought back of what it may have looked like the first time you arrived. When you first came here to Mount Sky, what did it look like? The size of the gym. We do have some memories of what you were first thinking when you were here because we had our Jumpstart program. And we asked you to write down what your biggest concerns were. 75% of you easily put down many answers like, I hope I'll be able to find my classes. Will I be able to get to class on time? How will I get around? Where are things? And yet you managed to do that. You got around, you found where you were going, even through all these changes. Half of you said something like, I hope my teachers are nice. I hope I'll understand what I have to do. Will I do well in school? Here we are. We've made it through 2 years and you're being promoted. I can't help but think that those are probably the same, maybe more sophisticated now thoughts, but the same thoughts that you're having as you move on to high school. How will I get around? How will I be successful? Will I know where I'm going? Who will I connect with? You did it here, you'll do it there. I promise, you will do well. Thank you for all your time. Thank you for all your work. We have enjoyed you deeply. We look forward to the future and we will miss you. At this point, the school feels familiar, it feels safe. And as we say, this is the nest, but it's time to leave the nest. It's time to move on and find another place to fly. We look forward to hearing your adventures and what you'll do next. We always say, once an eagle, always an eagle. And that's true. We want you to come back and tell us how you're doing. So thank you once again on behalf of the staff and our teachers here at Mountain Sky for sharing your students with us. Students, thank you for giving us your all. We greatly appreciate every moment that we've had. So one last time before we leave and I sign off and let Dr. Stanton give our closing remarks, I do want to say it one more time the way we end off our announcements every day. And you could say it with me. Make it a great day and choose to soar like a Mountain Sky Eagle.